The history of this story begins with a lone woman walking through a vast, unforgiving wilderness. Her name, Cheryl Strayed. A young woman carrying a backpack heavier than her past, and a pain deeper than the endless trail stretching before her. She had set out on a brutal 1,100-mile hike, believing somehow the wilderness might fix what life had broken inside her. But the moment her journey began, the wilderness hit back. Exhaustion crushed her muscles, her feet bled, and in one careless second, one of her boots slipped off the cliff. Furious at life, at fate, at her own brokenness, she threw the second boot after it. Only the wild air heard her scream. And right there, the story falls into the shadows of her past. Cheryl once had someone she loved more than anything, her mother Bobby. A woman full of warmth, a light strong enough to guide anyone out of darkness, until cancer stole her away. Losing her mother shattered Cheryl's world. She fell into depression, numbness, and self-destruction. Drugs, strangers, ruined relationships. Even marriage couldn't hold her together. Eventually, she fell apart completely. But someone who loved her, her best friend, planted a single idea in her broken heart. Walk. Keep walking until you find yourself again. So Cheryl packed every survival item she could find, creating a backpack nearly impossible for her to carry. Yet it held the one thing she needed most: hope. And she stepped into the wilderness with zero experience, just raw courage. At first, the trail felt like punishment. Every mile was a battle. Every night alone was fear. Every breath carried the memory of her mother's last smile. 8 days passed, and she was collapsing inside. Hunger, cold, loneliness, everything tried to break her. And then, one day, a tractor driver noticed her in a field. Cheryl feared him the moment she saw a gun inside his truck. The wilderness teaches you to doubt every stranger, but hunger teaches you to trust. He took her home, where his warm-hearted wife gave Cheryl the first real meal she'd had in days. And for one peaceful night, she slept safe, clean, fed, reminded that kindness still existed in the world. The next days brought storms, mistakes, and terrors of their own. Poisonous snakes, wild animals, freezing winds, sleepless nights. Cheryl's body screamed for mercy, but her spirit refused to stop. Then, she met Greg, another hiker. A brief smile, a moment of connection. He'd meet her later at Kennedy Meadows, and he did. There she met other hikers, finally felt a sense of belonging, and read a letter from her ex-husband. "I'm proud of you. You've walked 1,000 miles. And for the first time in years, her heart felt seen. But the trail wasn't done hurting her. Her bag was too heavy. Her boots were too tight. Her body was giving up. A wise old hiker named Ed saved her. He removed everything unnecessary from her pack and gave her a pair of sandals. Light, simple, perfect. Those sandals would carry her through the harshest days of her life. Snow began to fall as she entered the icy Sierra Nevada. Her toenail ripped loose. The cold cut through her bones. And then it happened again. Her boot slipped off a mountain. Fate was testing her, and she stared back with defiance, throwing the other boot into the white abyss. But this time, she didn't scream. She simply kept walking. 49 days turned into 58. Her skin burned. Her lips cracked. Her water ran out until finally she found a metal drum, empty. Hope almost died inside her. Then she found dirty puddle water and purified it herself, a small victory that kept her alive. But not every danger in the wilderness has fangs. Some walk on 2 legs. 2 hunters appeared, their eyes filled with something darker than the night. Their words filthy. Their intentions wrong. Cheryl escaped, but one of them returned later. His presence alone felt like a knife pressed against her spine. She acted fearless and survived again. 62 days later, she reached a small town, met a young man named Jonathan, and for one night laughter replaced fear. Music replaced silence. She felt alive again. But the wild was not finished writing her story. In Mount Hood National Forest, she met a grandmother and a little boy traveling with their llama. The boy asked softly, "Where is your mom?" When Cheryl said her mother was gone, the child sang a tender song his own mom once sang for him. That gentle voice reopened Cheryl's deepest wound, but also healed a piece of it. 94 days had passed. And at last she reached the Bridge of the Gods. The end of the trail, the end of her suffering, the beginning of her rebirth. A soft breeze touched her face. A memory of her mother's laughter echoed inside her. And then a fox appeared. Quiet, calm, almost magical. Cheryl felt it. It was her mother's spirit, watching her, proud of her, walking that last moment with her. 3 months of pain, fear, hunger, danger, heartbreak. And yet she stood tall, alive, whole, found. This is not just a journey. This is history. The story of one woman who walked into the wilderness to heal her soul and came out reborn. And just like Cheryl, every journey we take writes its own history. Some paths break us, some rebuild us, but every step brings us closer to who we're meant to be. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share and join us again for another unforgettable tale from history's hidden pages. See you in the next story.